Hello, Daryl here. The channel is Programming in Any Language. The supporting website is www.blacktestduck.com. The video is Text Processing Hacking Part 3. Remember, we have that practice session in Sakhir. Those records are different from our notepad file from the actual race sessions. Good thing we checked that out in our data. But that shouldn't be a problem, at least for the dates. The keywords we need seem to be start date and end date, and they seem to be the same in all records. Again, we'll need to find the record and get our starting position. In this case, the keyword is always the same size. Our new starting position is the current position plus 12 for start date and plus 10 for end date. And we'll process the start date and the end date separately. The code, however, will be very similar in both cases. We don't need to worry about the size of the date being extracted, as all dates are 2 positions. That makes it simple for us too. Let's take a look. This one should go smoothly. Well, we got the event off pretty easily. It might be time to do the start date, end date, stuff like that. So let's take a look at that real quickly and see what we've got here. If we look at the, if we run our program again and we take a look at our file, the data we're actually working with, we don't need the watch piece in here anymore. Oops, read my file. It's right here probably. There it is. And if we look at the start date, we have STAR-DATE, then 21, 23 looks pretty good. We've got some cases where the start date and end date are in the same line. Start date 29, end date 02. So it looks like if we use start date and end date as our keywords, we shouldn't have any problem grabbing this stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll put those in the start date and end date categories here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to my code again. And just like we did before, we're going to create an area. Here's the extract event place. Well, we got that. Let's go ahead and put that in front. We'll just create another one here. We'll kind of keep it separated like here and say extract start date. Let's do that in place. Give ourselves some space here. What we're going to want is we're going to want some data up in our area up here. We need to know where that start date starts. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an int start date. Int STR, STAR date. And this will holds index of the word start date. And we're going to use one for end date too, so let's go ahead and put that in right away. Int END DATE holds index of the word end date. And give it that space here. Now let's jump down. If we go down here to our extract start date piece right here, we can simply say that our int start date is equal to str record. Once again, we've got the record has been grabbed, dot index of start date, and give that thing a semicolon. That's going to grab the index of where the word start date actually starts in the index there. We then can go down here and say if int start date is greater than or equal to 0, in other words, we found something, then we can say int start date is equal to int start date plus some number. What number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe 10. Let's take a look. Let's see a 10 for now and leave it at that. And then we're going to go ahead and put our LBX start date dot items dot add str record dot substring int start date for 2. And that should get it for us. Why 2? Well, let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. We're going to be probably a little off. Read the file. It put something, it put the quote in slashes. We're missing 2. So it grabbed this end, the start date, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're looking for start date, but we didn't take into consideration the quote and the greater than sign to get our 21. But notice 21, 20. What about a single digit? 07. Okay, so 05. So it is using 2 characters when it actually pulls the date in. So we simply need to change the start date to a 12. File, save it, and run it. There, we got our dates. So we're pulling off our location, and we're pulling off our start date right now. So we're getting all that just fine. Now, let's go a little bit further here, and let's extract the end date. We're going to put that right in here. Extract end date. Now, this is going to be almost identical to what we've got a start date. We already created our end date variable up here for our quote. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything that's in here in the start date line, copy it, and paste it in here. And yeah, let's go ahead and separate these things so they're a little different. I'm going to see them that way. The end date is not going to have start date, it's going to have end date. And this will be 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 LBX end date. So that's the thing about naming things similar, and we want end date in here. Why do we have errors? Oh, we got an S in here. That doesn't like that. I got the S in here. It's my own sloppy copying is what it is. So it looks good there right now. Let's do a file save on this and do a start. Yeah, we didn't get it to go in here. What's going on here? What happened? Oh, you know why? That's a different number. This was not necessarily 12 in this area. Let's open this up a little bit. We're saying plus 12. End date is not plus 12. What's it getting if it looks at that? If we actually run it and look at the end date piece, end date is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 probably. 10. We're getting too much here, so we're looking at something beyond that. So let's change that. It should be 10, not 12, because end date is shorter than start date. Once we do that, we do a file save. Are we going to the right spot? I think so. Now we're still not getting it in here. Why? Let's find out why. End date. String record. Oh, the send date. Back that off. You got to be able to spell to be a programmer. And sometimes I can't spell, so I sometimes wonder if I'm a programmer. Let's go ahead and do this. Try it again. You always find your errors though. 21 to 23, 29 to 02. This is February 29th to March 2nd. If we get the month numbers in here. So that's what we have to do next. This is looking good so far. So pretty soon we're going to blow all this stuff away and create our calendar. So not looking bad at this point.
Smoothly? It never goes smoothly, especially when you can't spell. And that's why we test. Still, this one went well and our problems were minor. We've got our dates. All that's left is to extract the month names. We'll do that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Visit the website when you get a chance. And please subscribe to the channel. There's more stuff coming every week. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.